closet gamers.
We restart our Waterdeep campaign back on board the Ladyhawk. The PCs have been teleported from the Githyanki Stardock to the top deck of the ship, which is currently on the docks of Ruithim. They have not seen their companion Deavon since they were taken prisoner at the Stardock over 11 months ago. The group is informed that they are leaving Ruithim and heading back to Waterdeep after a quick stop at the Corin archipelago for a paying customer on board. She is also traveling to Waterdeep, only stopping briefly in the archipelago. The first few days of sailing towards the archipelago are uneventful, luckily, as some PCs suffer from seasickness. On day 3, the ship comes upon a large tree, over 100 feet high and 30 feet across at its base. It's covered in pink leaves and an assortment of colored fruit adorn its branches. An intricate root system under the tree descends beyond the visibility from the surface, and it is an odd sight in the middle of the trackless sea off the Sword Coast. As the Ladyhawk gets within 60 feet of the huge intricate root system, they reach out and snare the ship, slowing it to a halt. The roots wrap around many parts of the ship and hold it fast. The crew reacts quickly to the lieutenant's command and begin cutting at the roots all over the decks and railings. The branches overhead begin to shudder, and several huge white furry apes swing onto the Ladyhawk deck and attack. Their fangs and claws are stained a deep purple, the same color as a large number of fruits from the odd tree. Several of the crew are killed by the vicious apes, and the PCs are in the fight. Crew members also suffer from poisonous attacks from the residue on the apes' fangs and claws. Many more apes begin dropping on the deck, and the tide seems to be turning in the apes' favor. Reinhardt gets some room and throws one of his javelins of lightning at the tree's canopy, which ignites a huge dry branch. The tree seems to retract its roots. As the apes scream, they dive off the ship into the sea. As the tree releases its grip on the Ladyhawk, the lieutenant calls for the rowers. The Ladyhawk moves from the tree, and the apes appear to be gathering up mouthfuls of seawater, climbing the tree and spitting it onto the ever-increasing blaze. After several days of sailing towards the archipelago, the PCs get to know the secretive priestess from Ruithim. Eventually, they agree to help her on her holy quest for some type of magical rod, an ancient artifact used by priests in the past. The Ladyhawk sails north through the archipelago, and the captain confers with the priestess, Ashley, who has a map passed down from priest to priest through her order. As the Ladyhawk drops her anchor in a small bay, the PCs and priestess row to the shore of a tiny island. She refers to her map several times and sets ashore near an old settlement. The party is led by Ashley, and they trek over sand dunes and into a small wooded and hilly area of the island. They hike for several hours on what could be an ancient trail. Eventually, an old ruined temple comes into view, and Ashley breathes a sigh of relief, telling the party members that her faith has paid off and her God has not left this world. Belief in oneself, she says, and one's faith will always win the day. There are several lizard men in the temple ruins coming out of a door on the ground that seems to lead to a stairway going down. Two parties come together for battle, and the lizard men are cut down by the powerful PCs. The door to the stairway is opened, and the group throws several lit torches down the dark passage. Musahi animates two of the dead lizard men and sends them down first. The stairway leads down into a solid stone dungeon complex below the ancient temple. A group of lizardmen have made this area their home for several years now, and they are horrified at seeing their companions turned into zombies and attacking the group's pet crocodile at the bottom of the stairs. Just as their chief gets his wits back and starts shouting orders, Ashley destroys him with a flame strike. The proud tribe stops attacking. They allow Ashley to root around the complex until she locates the hidden door marked on her map. The PCs descend the dark stone spiral staircase into a cavernous room where their torches cast some light over a bizarre sculpture and sarcophagus. Hera assists Ashley in removing the lid, and a well-preserved mummy lays inside. It holds several rods in its crossed hands, and Ashley pulls both from the mummy's husk. She praises Bane, her destiny renewed, as she backs away from the sarcophagus. The mummy opens its dried-out eyes to reveal a hateful red glow. It leaps from the stone coffin and strikes at Hera. The PCs battle the mummy and eventually bring it down, but not easily, and Hera's injured severely. Ashley begrudgingly heals the rot from Hera, but his damage will take time from the powerful undead monster's blows. The group gathers up some other artifacts in the tomb and heads back to the Ladyhawk. The Ladyhawk pulls up its anchor and leaves the Corian archipelago, heading for Waterdeep. As the ship rounds the outer islands of West Haven, a fog starts to gather. A call from the crow's nest alerts the crew to a massive titan wading up to its waist in the sea, a mile off the starboard bow. It notices the Ladyhawk and moves towards the ship at a frightening speed. The captain calls for the rowers, and the unnaturally strong women take up the oars, which creak in protest to the pull. The rowers start a vigorous cadence chant that rings through the ship's hull. The Titan wades into the ocean up to its neck, but the Ladyhawk begins pulling away with the powerful rowers. The captain breathes a sigh of relief as the Titan appears to give up its pursuit of the ship. Later that evening, while in their rooms, the PCs hear quite a commotion coming from the rowers' area outside of their door. Rufus sneaks out for a look and finds one of the rowers has collapsed and is being attended to by several others. Rufus follows as the rower is taken to the ship's hold and into a strange area that appears to be an alchemist's shop. Several of the young trainees are there, and they all appear to have a tube connected intravenously from a barrel of glowing green sludge. Several days of sailing go by uneventfully, and the crew informs the PCs they should reach Waterdeep in a few days. Two of the rowing trainees fish off the side of the Ladyhawk using a net system.
Oh my God, look at that!
They both give out an excited cry as they pull the net on board, and it holds a chest. As they inspect it, the chest reaches out and it appears to bite one of the young women. "A mimic!" someone else cries, and it's kicked from the deck.
Lost me.
The next day, a derelict ship dead in the water is spotted. The captain cruises past and asks the PCs if they would like to take a look aboard. Sensing something is off about the ship, the PCs suggest it should be used for target practice. The captain agrees and runs the crew through several training exercises, tacking and firing, then tacking and firing again at the ship. It's hit with nearly every shot as it burns. All manner of mimic monsters abandon it and jump into the sea as the Ladyhawk sails off. A day later, the PCs finally see the massive and magnificent city of Waterdeep again, the jewel of the North. Soon the Ladyhawk arrives on the docks at the beautiful city. They wonder now how much has changed. It's been nearly a year. of being held at the Stardock, prisoners of the Githyanki. The priestess Ashley asks to join up with the group, since they have become such excellent traveling companions. The group could use a priestess, she suggests, and the PCs agree, for now. The group stands on the busy dock system and reminisces about the last time they were here, nearly 1 year ago. Until next time, thank you for watching.
This is Closet Gamers.